Hi there, I'm Megan and I go by Solar Glow Meditations. Tonight we're going to have a distance Reiki session where I have pulled a selection of cards out in front of me to help direct what energy we're working on. And then I've also got a pile of crystals right here. I have not pre-selected those for moving through the energy and help guiding what energy comes through. So a few things before we get started. If you guys want to view this ad-free without paying for YouTube Premium, I do have a membership option on my channel that you can select, and it's cheaper than Premium. And all these videos are uploaded for free or like ad-free on the channel. I do need your consent to work on your energy. So either out loud in the comments, in your head, wherever you feel most comfortable, just agree to receive this energy healing. And if you guys have requests, please let me know in the comments because I do read through those. I think that's it. Let's get started. Just to give you guys a preview of what sort of energy we're working on tonight. It's a lot to do with releasing self-limiting beliefs. And I framed this a little bit in the context of what sort of future do you want to create? And the cards were very clear that you need to be a little bit careful when manifesting the future because you don't want to be so attached to your image of the future that you actually prevent it from happening by trying to control it. One of the challenges of manifesting is seeing very clearly what you want out in the universe, telling the universe, and then letting it go to make it happen. You have to seize the opportunities when they present themselves, but you also can't be trying to force something into happening that's not meant to happen. Okay, we're very in our heads tonight, so I'm going to start with Pinolith. This is still a newer to me crystal, but it's very good for calming anxiety and like overactivity. It's just going to help us settle into this energy of going with the flow. There you go. Make sure you remember to breathe. I'm going to be sending you some thoughts through your head. See if you can pick up on what those are. And don't overthink it. Just allow it to flow. See what happens. If it's something you're interested in, if you're not, that's okay. Just before I mentioned that, I projected out the thought of settling down into your chair, your bed, wherever you're sitting, just relaxing a little bit deeper. Did you do that? If not, that's okay. You can do it now. I felt a lot of shoulders drop just now. You're doing great. want to work on this energy of self-limiting beliefs. And usually to release things, I would want to ground you, but being grounded means being very present in your physical space and what is around you. And while that can be a good thing, being so rooted and grounded into your body kind of brings you back to these thoughts of, like, are aliens real? Is magic real? I know they're real. Do you know they're real? Maybe you don't. That's okay. That can be and is a self-limiting belief in a lot of cases. So I almost want to bring this energy up into your head and out into the your 8th, 9th, and 10th chakras. I don't speak about these much, partly because I don't know a ton about them, but partly because it's not a common thing to work on them. I'm going to bring out Skull Sight. I will also drop the descriptions of all of these in the box if you want to come back to these. Skull Sight is a very nice white crystal. These very bright crystals, bright purple, white, these bring you up into your crown chakra. And can often take you out of your body. So when we talk about going out of our bodies, usually it's up and out through the crown chakra. And you actually have, so we have tons of chakras. Generally, most people know about the traditional 7, so starting at the base of your spine up to the top of your head. But you actually have chakras that extend out. So you have 8, 9, 10. I've heard up to 20. I don't know much about those. But it starts to encompass your aura. And so when we're releasing these self-limiting beliefs, I want to root these out of your body and send them up and out into the ether. Send them back to the universe to be released and repurposed elsewhere. This is very different. Being guided a little bit by spirit on this. Usually when we're releasing things, we send it back down to the earth to be repurposed, but I've never sent things up and out, so we're gonna see where this takes us. See how it feels, see what it's like. You might be feeling a little lightheaded. It's okay, just take a minute, make sure you breathe some more. If you need to, grab a drink of water. The interesting thing about belief is it gets rooted in your cells, in your body. And so part of, oh my, part of releasing those self-limiting beliefs is digging them out of those cells and teaching your body to react differently to that information. And the integration of that can really take some time. A really good example is Reiki and knowing it works. If you're skeptical of this sort of energy work, a lot of times, unless you're open to it, like if you come in skeptically and don't think it's gonna work, then it's not gonna work. But if you come in with an open mind and say, hey, what's this? And really pay attention to your body as you move through these sessions. Excuse me. Got some self-limiting beliefs coming out of my throat, my goodness. If you come into these sessions with this open mind, open body, open heart, and just experience it and pay attention to it, and start to notice how things feel differently. How do you perceive the energy? Do you just know that your throat feels different as you're letting go of these beliefs? Do you feel that energy? And as you start to recognize those things, those differences, your mind starts to catch up and release those beliefs. Like, instead of thinking, oh, it doesn't work, now you know it works because you've experienced it, and now you're open to it. But it takes time. A lot of times it takes firsthand experience to really understand those things. Oh my goodness. You're here. You've gained some confidence and some courage. We are going to use some orange calcite. The stone caught my eye before the session started. I wasn't sure if it would make sense to integrate it in, but it feels good. In releasing those self-limiting beliefs, there's a lot of energy that we need to replace in your body where those self-limiting beliefs have been stored. We're going to fill it up with this fabulous orange calcite energy. It is full of inspiration and creativity and joy and spice of life and just sunny energy. I hadn't even finished reading my tarot card, and at the very bottom it says Zest for Life. That is my one, perhaps secret, maybe not so secret. I have the link to the deck, but I do not have the tarot cards memorized, and so I very much appreciate these assistance words to help me understand what they're trying to communicate. If you fall asleep, it's completely okay. Just let your body do what it needs to do. You're doing so great. We are going to pull out can find it. There it is. We're gonna pull out Jet. Not Jet. Jet was the stone I was looking at. We were pulling out a shungite. Shungite is a wonderful protection stone, a wonderful grounding stone. So we're gonna bring you back into your body just a little bit. But shungite is really good at pulling out this negativity down to this cell level. And as you start to formulate what sort of future you want, what sort of limiting beliefs are you eliminating, you have to let go of your ego and your need to control the outcome. Because until you can do that, there's going to be this resistance in the universe to making it happen. For example, one of the things I would absolutely be delighted to be able to do is to levitate. And I hear your gut reactions like that's not possible. It is. It's just a matter of figuring out how. If that's your self-limiting belief, that's okay. You can hold on to that if that's something you want to. Your self-limiting beliefs can absolutely be different than mine. And I mean, in a perfect world, maybe we wouldn't have any self-limiting beliefs at all. We could create and manifest as we want. Maybe that is my ego's version of a lovely future. But does that get in the way of other people's versions of what a delightful future might look like? And I don't want you to go too far down the rabbit hole of these thoughts of self-limiting beliefs and how they impact others and anything like that. We're just here to pull out the ego and recognize where it's coming from and where it stands, and maybe your self-limiting belief is a little bit more, I want to say meta. I'm sure a lot of folks have this thought of, my self-limiting belief is that I will never have enough money. And that is absolutely 100% a self-limiting belief. But perhaps it is a little bit of a broader picture than just the money itself. Maybe it's, I'll never live in abundance, which is very different than money. Sometimes you have to zoom out a little bit. Because sometimes when you do that, you realize, I really do live in abundance. I have the ability to go outside and breathe fresh air whenever I have a spare moment. Or I'm never worried about putting food on my table. Or I know if I want to go see my friend, I'll be able to do that whenever I want to. And I hear there's lots of chatter in the back of your mind about like consumerism and things, and I understand that too. But if you were letting external things control your narrative about what is, you're going to continue to be powerless in that outcome. And so I want you to take back your power. Sometimes taking back your power is shifting your perspective, even if your actual financial situation doesn't change immediately. Sometimes that shift in perspective will absolutely change what your situation is in the future, because now if you're acting in a abundance mindset, I have enough, I am enough, I don't want for anything, and you know that down to your body and your cells and your core, the universe works on the law of attraction. Like attracts like. And so if you already live in that mindset, you're going to attract more of that. And so shifting your perspective is the first key in that, but it's very hard to do without getting your ego involved and wanting to control the outcome, because sometimes it doesn't look like what you think it might look like. Sometimes that shift in perspective is all that's going to happen, and that's okay, because suddenly you have taken back your power and now live in this life of abundance. And you don't want for anything, even if the flow of money hasn't necessarily changed. But you have removed that self-limiting belief of I don't have enough. And I understand reality is a hard thing to contend with when we talk in spiritual terms, and I don't want to perpetuate this notion of elitism or like life isn't really hard or situations aren't what they are. But you can't always control the external circumstances, but you absolutely can control how you react to it. And I know that can be so hard to put into practice. But nobody can steal your happiness if you don't let them. And so my version of the future that I always think about, I grab another stone for this because we're going on to unreasonably happy. So I'm going with lepidolite, which is great for, it has a little bit of lithium in it, so it's a really great antidepressant, like lift you up, make you happy type crystal. It's in a heart shape. Who couldn't be mad at, or who could be mad at that? So excuse me. So when I think about what I look for in the future, what version of myself do I want to be when I'm 80 years old? And the vision I have in my head is that like kooky old lady down the street that maybe everybody's just a little bit afraid of because she, you know, she's like super powerful, but she's like so unreasonably happy and feeds the crows and has the rainbow house and is just so happy with life, and you wonder what her secret is, and the only secret that there is that she's happy. That's all there is to it. And so trying to live my life in that sort of way of just, I am where I am and I'm so happy to be here. And of course, there's like these human tangential things or tangible things that, of course, I want to experience out of life. Like, I want to keep eating pizza into my 80s. Pizza is fantastic. I would love to travel the world and just experience life and see and meet the people and but the things around me aren't the part that matters. And it feels so like cliche to say it, like there are absolutely egotistical, like material things that I would be sad to lose, like my photos of life. And I mean, I love my crystals and my tarot cards too. That would be a bummer to lose, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I'm not so attached to pizza to be sad if I developed like a gluten intolerance or something like that. I don't even know if you can develop those. So, as you think about your future, as you let go of these self-limiting beliefs, how do you want to feel? How do you want to experience life? And what are the ways you can start to make that happen now? I've got this giant grin on my face, and I'm just like so unreasonably happy sharing this with you guys. And I hope you're feeling some of this like happiness too. And hopefully, this is my ego talking, but hopefully it can inspire some of you to think about what the future is that you're looking for. This feels like a good place to end this for this evening. Thank you so much for joining me on this Reiki journey. If you're sleeping, I hope you have a wonderful sleep and wonderful dreams to accompany that. Yeah, otherwise, I will catch you guys next time. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.